All right, I'm on a long ride, so I figured I would go on here and try to do a little bit of stuff on the Bible. The main thing that I want to tell y'all about the Bible is that it is not a historical or a prophetic book, and that's the main thing. Now, I'm not saying that it does not contain wisdom and knowledge, because it does. It contains wisdom and knowledge, but it also contains curses and incantations and other things that since the 1611 King James Bible was written, they're in there. And the main curses are against Africans, African Americans, black folks, whatever you want to call the so-called black man and black woman. All right, but those are what the curses are against, and they were put in there by King James, who was an avid demonologist and a witch himself. He was a witch, or a warlock, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, he put spells on people, and he put the biggest spell in the history of the world. I know he's probably like wherever he is in the universe, he's probably like, yeah, I got him, because he did get black folks good. So and the first thing I want to go, okay, and everybody's like, oh, why do you always say that? Well, the reason why I always say that is because it's true. I mean, think about slavery, Jim Crow, mass incarceration, bad food, bad health care, bad schools. I mean, and it's all basically predicated on what? On black folks that accepted the Bible. And just think, before we accepted the Bible, I mean, we were like the kings of the world. We had the richest people in the world. We had the most finances. We created everything, architecture, all the arts, sciences, music, everything was our creation. And then all of a sudden, we accept Jesus Christ. The next thing you know, we're on ships called Jesus, vessels with a white Jesus on the wall, just a lot of stuff. So anyway, but if you don't believe it, and you can't look at stuff and take the stuff that you look at and make a practical, intelligent, informative decision, then hey, it is what it is. So, bless you. Anyway, so that's why I want to tell you that there is no historical. All of the things that are in the Bible, they were made up, but the Bible is in code. Okay, the Masons and the Moors both did their thing to put it in code. But what I do want to tell you is the Bible is a book of astrology and astro-theology. And the way I like to explain it is, basically, it's how do human beings relate to the rest of the universe? How are we juxtapositioned inside the universe? And that's all I want to let you know, to get you to understand that everything that goes on is related. Okay, so now, and then everybody wants to argue with you and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so let me just break some stuff down to you. Just like today on Facebook, I posted what? I posted that that there's like everything in the Bible is based on astrology. And I made a second post. So I got a friend on Facebook, and they post about Enoch. They post from the book of Enoch. Well, Enoch represents the seventh chakra, the crown chakra. Why? He was seventh from, even his book constantly keeps telling you, he's seventh from who? From Adam. So he's the seventh from Adam. So Adam is what? Your root chakra. It's I am. It's your creation chakra, and then you go all the way up. And once you get to Enoch, and what was the distinction of Enoch in the Bible? Enoch in the Bible ascended. He never was buried. They never found his body. All that kind of stuff. The same thing happened to Moses. And if you look at everything that went on, Enoch, and then Moses was the next, and then of course the Christ, Jesus Christ, also ascended. Okay, so that is in reference to your crown chakra, your seventh chakra. So when your chakra opens, when your pineal gland opens, and which is your third eye, once your third eye opens, then what happens? Okay, so we're gonna go and we're gonna talk about the scriptures again. So what do the scriptures show us? I'm in the tunnel again. I'm always in this tunnel, I think, because I go through downtown Phoenix a lot. So what is it telling you? The whole thing is telling you, first of all, so then you had who? You had Jacob, who changed his name to Israel. So let's go through the whole thing about Jacob and Israel right quick, because I only got like 10 minutes left, I think. So okay, so you've got Jacob, who turns into Israel. Okay, now what is significant about Jacob? Jacob is the patriarch of the 12 tribes. What do the 12 tribes represent? They represent the 12 signs of the Zodiac. How many women did Jacob have to sleep with in order to get those 12 tribes? He had to sleep with 4 women who represent what? The 4 seasons of the year and the 4 types of signs. You have water signs, you have air signs, you have fire signs, and you have earth signs. That's what it represents. It is not a historical story, okay? And it's a metaphorical story. So now you've got the 12 signs of the Zodiac. You have it broken down into the seasons, and you have it broken down into the quarters, right? Okay, so now let's see the parallels, because everybody says, well, what's in the Old Testament is in the New Testament. And guess what? According to the Moorish science, you're right, because you got what? You have 12 disciples slash apostles. I mean, you can argue, because there were more than 12. Yeah, there were. But the reason why it's in there like that is because there are 12. How many gates to the kingdom of heaven are there? There are 12 gates to the kingdom of heaven, right? 12 gates. Okay, and then let's go back to the number 7, and we'll put that up, because what? When Jacob became Israel, what did he do? He wrestled all night with God, which meant what? He was trying to get his third eye open. And once his third eye opened up, what did he hit? He hit his crown chakra. And then he became Israel. Is stands for the mother goddess Isis. Ra stands for the sun god, the S-U-N god, and El is what? The Moorish terminology for the Most High God. So you got what? Israel. And so what happened when Jacob wrestled God and wrestled the Most High, and he finally opened his third eye? He hit the crown chakra, which is his 7th chakra. He got to the 7th chakra, and what happened? He became God. And that's why I keep trying to tell y'all got to understand what you are. You are God. You are made in the image and the likeness of God. The stuff that the Europeans put in the Bible is there just to trick you and to throw you off. What do I mean by that? Because the Egyptians, the Kemetic people, knew that we were in the God class. Well, you may not be the Most High God, but you are a God. Okay, and as soon as you reach that, what? Even the scriptures, what do they tell us? When you get to heaven, okay, when you run the race and you've done good, and what happens when you get to heaven? You get a crown. A crown. The new heaven, John the Revelator, when he was laying there on Patmos Island, what was he doing? He was going through, and he starts going through. How many candlesticks are there? How many trumps are there? How many seals are broken? 7. No. Yes. Everything is all equated to that crown chakra. That is what Christ is. Jesus is a deity that was formed by your boy Constantine and the rest of the Nicene Council, and then later picked up by the other ecumenical councils. What? In order to get you to believe in something so that they can keep power and control over you, and to prevent what? Anarchy. And what did they do? They made everybody that was under the crown, they made everybody that was under England accept Christianity. You didn't have a choice. You had to accept Jesus. And then when they enslaved us, what happened? We had to accept Jesus. We didn't have a choice. But that is the deity, because what is Jesus? Jesus is Lucifer. He is the morning star. Y'all just think I'm just making this up. Go and research this stuff. Don't just accept what the pastor tells you on Sunday. Get this stuff and study it. Study to show see, there are things that are truism. Study to show yourself approved, a workman who can rightly divide the word of truth. That's why you got to divide this stuff, because there's lies in there. A lot of it, like I said, it's metaphors, it's parables, it's allegories, it's just wisdom. Just like a lot of the proverbs and a lot of the ecclesiastical documents, they're just nothing but, what are they? They're wisdom and knowledge that they put in there. But a lot of it is just a bunch of crap. It really is. Everybody go, I believe in the Bible. You know, I used to say that. Don't get me wrong. I used to say that until I discovered what it really is. And like I said, and so all that stuff. So what is the seventh? You know, because that's like the biggest deal in there. It's like, oh, in Revelation, everybody is so scared of Revelation. Talk about all that. Well, the Bible says in the last days, you know, there'll be perilous times. There have been perilous times all throughout history. You don't think when the people in London were standing there and there were airplanes, which people really didn't know a lot about airplanes, and airplanes are flying over the top of them and dropping bombs on London every single day during World War II. You don't think they thought those were perilous times? Do you think the people in Vietnam, when the Vietnam War was going on and people were dropping bombs over Hanoi and over Cambodia and everything else, and they heard those bombs drop every day? What do you think they were doing? Come on, y'all. Really? You don't think they thought those were perilous times? The thing about the scriptures is that they're non-dated and they're non-specific. That's just like when all these so-called prophets and all these so-called pastors and preachers, they get out, well, I don't know who this is for, but your blessing is gonna come today. It's probably not. You know, people are just gullible, because the one thing that the Bible does is that it gives them hope. It gives them hope. It gives them something to hope for and to believe in. And our Kemetic ancestors, they didn't have the principle of faith was a principle that wasn't really taught. Why? Because they were about getting what? Right wisdom and right knowledge, so that they could make what? The right decision. Because they knew that they were God. That's why they were able to build and create so many things. How you think they set the main pyramid right on true north? And they didn't have no computers or all this stuff. They set it right on true north. Exactly. Not even off like one degree or anything. And we have trouble doing that today. And they didn't have all the modern technology. How you think they got those big rocks and stuff? They still, and right now, you still got Europeans going on talking about they built the pyramids, that aliens came here, all kinds of stuff. People got all kinds of theories. Well, what about this theory? They was just smarter than everybody. And they worship God the correct way. That's how come you got worshipful masters and you have what? Ascended masters. And all that ascended masters were people that had their third eye open and they reached their crown chakra. That's all they were. And everybody is a Christ. That's all Christ means. Christ just means anointed or enlightened. Anointed or enlightened, or both. And when we got people nowadays, they have anointed. You know, that's one of the biggest things in the church. Oh, pastor, so anointed. Anointed how? Anointed with what? You know, and the same thing with, you know, and then the Eastern religions, more so Hinduism and Buddhism and all of that, they more so subscribe to the word enlightened. But it's the same thing, y'all. You know, it's the fact that you spiritually and divinely have gained some wisdom or some knowledge that came from the Most High, because your third eye, your pineal gland, opened, and now you can see. I was blind, but now I see. And see, the whole concept of grace and all of that, it comes in because God gives you, the Most High God gives you chance after chance after chance to get to that seventh chakra, to get to that crown chakra, and to get that third eye open so that you can see. So that you can see. I know that's not, you know, the Amazing Grace thing, that's not biblical. A slave man. But anyway, I love y'all. I gotta go though, because that's my 15 minutes. I love you dearly.